Hello, kids! How are you today? I hope you're doing great. Join me as we explore this week's lesson on solving real life problems involving greatest common factor, or the GCF, and the least common multiple, or LCM, of two given numbers. Be ready with your learning activity sheets, notebooks, or sheets of paper, and of course, your ball pen. We have two lessons, one for the GCF alone and another one for the LCM. Lesson number 1, solving real life problems involving GCF of two given numbers. As a review, greatest common factor, or GCF, is the greatest factor that divides two or more numbers. This means that the GCF is the greatest or the largest or the biggest number that can be divided to the given numbers. But how do we get the GCF? That is the big question. Here in our lesson, we will use the listing method, or we will list all the factors of the given numbers. How to get the GCF by listing method? List down all the possible factors. Second, identify the common factors. When we say common factor, it is a factor of a number that is also a factor of another number, another set of number. Then third step, you're going to find the greatest common factor by determining which of those common factors that you have identified has the biggest value or the biggest number among those. That is considered your GCF. For example, find the GCF of 24 and 30. Again, first step is you have to list all the possible factors of 24. To find the factors of 24, you need to think of two numbers whose product is equal to 24. But bear in mind that the factor of the first two factors of any number is always 1 and the number itself. So automatically we have 1 and 24 as our factors. Because 1 times 24, that is 24. Since 24 is also divisible by 2, we also have 2 times 12, which is 24. And also we have 3 times 8 and 4 times 6. By rearranging them, we have the factors of 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, and 24. For 30, again, automatically you have 1 times 30. And then 30 is also divisible by 2, so you have 2 times 15, which is also equal to 30. And also 3 times 10, that is equal to 30. And 5 times 6. So those are the factors of 30. Arranging them from least to greatest, we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 10, 15, and 30. Now, we need to identify the common factors. It means that this factor, the factor of 24, is also a factor of 30. Obviously, we have 1, 2, 3, and 6. For our third step, we need to examine which of those common factors that we have identified has the biggest number, or the biggest value, or which is the biggest number, because that is our GCF. So we have here 6 as the biggest among them. Therefore, our greatest common factor is 6. The GCF of 24 and 30 is 6. Moving on to our main topic, which is solving word problem. For you to be able to solve the problem correctly, you need to follow 4 steps. This is what we call as the UPSC step. U stands for understand, P stands for plan, S stands for solve, and C stands for check and look back. How will you be able to understand the problem? First, you need to identify what is being asked in the problem. This is usually found at the last part of the given problem, usually in a form of question. Next, look for the given facts. This is very easy to locate since this is usually associated with numbers. Next, plan. How are you going to solve the problem? Is it through finding the GCF or finding the LCM or something like that? It depends on the problem. Next, third step is solve. This is the stage where you are going to implement your strategy on how to solve the problem. Then the last part is check and look back. This is the part where you're going to check your solution, whether the strategy that you used is appropriate or suited for your problem. Let's have our first example. Listen as I read the given problem. Cherry baked 48 pieces of butter cookies and 60 chocolate cookies. If she will put them separately in boxes, what is the most number of cookies that boxes will contain if these are of the same number? Now, let's read together. Cherry baked 48 pieces of butter cookies and 60 chocolate cookies. If she will put them separately in boxes, what is the most number of cookies that boxes will contain if these are of the same number? Let's now solve the problem using the 4 steps. First step is understanding the problem by answering the question, what is asked? We find this at the last sentence of the problem, usually in a form of question. So in this case, we have here, what is the most number of cookies that boxes will contain if these are of the same number? However, you should bear in mind that this should not be in question form. So you need to remove the word what and the verb is, and also the question mark at the last part. You can also remove some phrases that are irrelevant. Include only the most important words. So you have now the most number of cookies that a box will contain. That is the one being asked in the problem. What are the given facts? These are the data found in the problem that we can use in order to answer the question. It's easy to identify them since these are associated with numbers. Let's look for the numbers. Here we have 48, but do not only write the number, but the entire phrase. So you have here 48 pieces of butter cookies. Another one, we still have 60 chocolate cookies. So these are the given facts: 48 butter cookies and 60 chocolate cookies. Step 2. Plan. How are we going to solve this? Our clue here is the most number of cookies. Since it's looking for the greatest number of cookies that a box will contain, automatically we can solve this by finding the GCF, or the greatest common factor of two numbers, through listing method. Moving on, step 3 is, of course, we need to solve it. Our solution here is done through listing the factors or through listing method, as I have mentioned earlier. Here is our solution. Since we're looking for the GCF of 48 and 60, first thing to do is, of course, list down all the possible factors of 48 and 60. To find the factors of 48, think of two numbers whose product is equal to 48. The very first pair of factors in any number is always 1 and the number itself. So it means 1 and 48 is our first two factors, since 1 times 48, that is also equal to 48. Since 48 is divisible by 2, we have 2 times 24. Also, we have 3 times 16, that is also equal to 48. 4 times 12, and 6 times 8. By rearranging them, we have the factors of 48. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, 8, 12, 16, 24, and 48. Let's move to 60. Again, I've already mentioned earlier that the first two factors of any number is number 1 and the number itself. So we have 1 times 60. 60 is also divisible by 2, so we have 2 times 30. 3 times 20. 4 times 15. 5 times 12, that is also equal to 60. And lastly, we have 6 times 10. So these are the factors of 60. By rearranging them from least to greatest, we have 1, 2, 3, 5, 12, 15, 20, 30, and 60. Now that we have the common we have already listed the factors for each number, let's try to identify the common factors. So for 48 and 60, we have many common factors. Of course, automatically we have 1, and also 2, 3. Do we have 4 in 60? I think we don't have 4. So our last common factor is 12. So step 3 is you need to find now or identify the greatest common factor. How? Of course, from the identified common factors, obviously, you need to look for the biggest number among those. Obviously, the largest is 12. Therefore, 12 is our GCF, or the greatest common factor of 48 and 60. We still have step 4, check and look back. So therefore, we could say that a box will contain 12 pieces of cookies since the GCF is 12. Since there are 48 butter cookies, it means that there will be 6 boxes with 12 pieces of butter cookies, while there are only 5 boxes of chocolate cookies containing 12 pieces in each box. Now that you have already learned the different steps in solving word problem, let us try this activity. Activity number 1, which is found on page 3 to 4 on your learning activity sheet. Listen as I read the problem. Answer the questions that follow by writing the letter of your choice in your math notebook. You have 5 seconds to answer each question. So, are you ready, kids? Let's begin. Edmund has 8 blue marbles and 16 white ones. If he wants to place them in identical groups without any marbles left over, what is the greatest number of groups Edmund can make? Question number 1. What is asked? A. The greatest number of groups Edmund can make. B. The smallest number of groups Edmund can make. C. The same number of groups Edmund can make. Or letter D. The number of groups without any marbles. Your 5 seconds starts now. Okay, time is up. The answer is letter A. Question number 2. What are the given facts? A. 8 blue marbles. B. 16 white marbles. C. 8 blue marbles and 16 white marbles. Or letter D, the total number of marbles. Your timer starts now. Time is up. The answer is letter C. Very good. Question number 3. How will you solve the problem? A, by finding the greatest common factor. B, by finding the least common multiple. C, by finding both the GCF and the LCM. Or D, by listing the factors. Timer starts now. Your time is up. The correct answer is letter A. Great job for those who got letter A. Number 4. What is the GCF of 8 and 16? Is it A2, B3, C4, or D8? Okay, to answer, please follow me. Follow 3 steps to find the GCF of 8 and 16. Okay, first, you're going to find the factors of 8. So you have 1 times 8 equals 8, and 2 times 4, that is 8. Rearranging them, you have 1, 2, 4, and 8 as factors of 8. While for 16, you have 1 times 16, 2 times 8, 4 times 4. Rearranging them again, you have 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16. So let's identify the common factors. So the common factors of 8 and 16 are 1, 2, 4, and 8. By that, we can already identify the GCF, which is the biggest number of the identified common factor, which is number 8. So therefore, our answer, the greatest factor of 8 and 16 is letter D. Please count your score. Those who got 4 and 3, great job. Those who got 2 and 1, do your best in the next activity. Let us now proceed to activity number 2. Go to page 4 until page 5 of your learning activity sheet for week 3, quarter 2 of Mathematics 4. Our man is packing relief goods to be shared amongst friends. He has 20 bottles of water and 12 packs of food, which he would like to distribute equally among them without leftover. What is the greatest number of pack of relief goods Arman can make? Question number 1. What is asked? A, the greatest number of pack of relief goods Arman can make. B, the least number of pack of relief goods. C, the total number of relief goods. Or D, the equal number of relief goods. Your 5 seconds starts now. Your time is up. The correct answer is letter A. Bravo, bravo for those who got the correct answer. Question number 2. What are the given facts? A, 20 bottles of water. B, 20 bottles of water and 12 packs of food. C, 12 packs of food. Or letter D, the total number of relief goods. Your timer starts now. Time is up. The correct answer is letter B. Question number 3. How will you solve the problem? A, by finding the greatest common factor. B, by finding the least common multiple. C, by finding both the GCF and LCM. Or D, by listing the factors. You have 5 seconds. Go. Time is up. The correct answer is letter A, by finding the greatest common factor. Question number 4, the last but not the least. What is the GCF of 12 and 20? A, is it 2? B, is it 3? Letter C, 4? Or letter D, 6? Follow me to solve the GCF by following the 3 steps. Okay, of course, you have to find the factors of 12 and 20. For 12, we have 1 times 12, 2 times 6, and 3 times 4. Rearranging from least to greatest, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 6, and 12 as factors of 12. While for 20, you have 1 times 20, 2 times 10, and 4 times 5. So, rearranging them, you have 1, 2, 4, 5, 10, and 20. Now, we will identify the common factors of 12 and 20. So, we have 1, 2, 4, okay, only 3. 1, 2, and 4. So, it's very obvious that our greatest common factor is number 4. So the GCF of 12 and 20 is 4. Therefore, the answer for number 4 is letter C. Great job. Again, count your score. Who got 4 and 3? Wow, amazing. Those who got below 3, study harder. Now, on a separate sheet of paper, please answer problem 3 on page 5 and problem 4 on page 6 of your learning activity sheets. To check the accuracy of your answer, you may refer to the answer key provided on page 15. And that ends the part 1 of our lesson for week 3. See you in the next video. Have a great day.